welcome to Explorers Academy. My name is Elena with Manatee County Parks and Natural Resources. Today we are going to explore our county's namesake, the manatee. These gentle aquatic giants are a threatened species that play an important role in our ecosystem. Let's see what we can do to help manatees. This iconic herbivorous species is important to the health of aquatic habitats all over the coast of Florida. Nicknamed the sea cow, manatees feed on large amounts of seagrasses, helping to maintain the health of grass beds and creating a productive habitat for other wildlife such as fish, crustaceans, and mollusks. Because of their importance to the Florida ecosystem, manatees are protected by the Florida Manatee Sanctuary Act, the Marine Mammal Protection Act, and the Endangered Species Act. These protections, public education, and rescue and rehabilitation programs have helped increase Florida manatee populations over the last 25 years. Aerial surveys beginning in 1991 recorded 1,267 manatees in Florida waters, while most recent surveys counted over 6,300. Manatees face many threats in our waterways, including entanglement, injury by boats, cold stress, and red tide. Manatee calves stay with their mother for the first 1 to 2 years of life, so they may be at risk if they become separated. To rescue, rehabilitate, and release injured or sick manatees, several organizations all around the state have joined together to form the MRP.
My name is Monica Ross. I am from Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute. And what we are a part of is what's called the Manatee Rehabilitation Partnership. And this organization is a cooperative group of state, federal, and NGOs all putting together their resources and expertise to try and help rescue, rehabilitate, release, and monitor manatees.
Rescuing an injured or sick manatee is no easy task. From the moment a distressed manatee is reported, a team of wildlife biologists spring into action.
Any citizen, a person that's out on the water or looking out their back of the dock, they might see a manatee that is sick or injured. And what they need to do is call the FWC hotline number, 888-404-FWCC or 3922. And what that does is that goes to the wildlife hotline number that contacts FWC field biologists. So if it is a boat-based operation, they have this boat that's it's a mullet boat, if anybody remembers those. It's where the engine's in the front and the stern is out. And so the net is actually deployed out the back of the net. And it takes anywhere from 8 to 11 people. And the goal is to get the manatee in the net and pull them up on the boat. So once you actually get the animal up on the boat, then it is transported to a boat ramp or some kind of system that you can actually get the animal into the rescue vehicle. And back in the day, my day, I've been doing this for quite a long time, we used to use U-Hauls and Ryder trucks. So you never knew what was going down the road, what might be in it. But nowadays, through all the advancements in funding, many of these vehicles are actually specifically designed for manatees. Then the animal is transported to the closest facility that is open. And these are only critical care facilities. There are only 4 of them in the state. That is going to be Zoo Tampa, SeaWorld, Miami Sea Aquarium, and Jacksonville Zoo. Once they get to the facility, they have a whole team of vet and animal care staff, and they're going to do what they need to do to get the animal back to a good health. These critical care facilities do a lot of work for these manatees to get them back into a health that they can go back out. And they actually provide a service for manatees that is above and beyond what many other facilities could provide. Once the animal is cleared by the veterinary staff at the facility they are at, then it is decided within the whole MRP whether the animal needs to be tagged and monitored to see how their adaptation is when they go back. Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute, we are the portion of the organization that is actually going to monitor the manatees. And so how we monitor the animals is we will actually put satellite equipment on these animals when they're released. So we are putting what's called a belt around the area. It's called the peduncle. And that is the area between the larger part of the body and the tail. And it's specifically designed for the manatee itself. Once we get that on the animal, it's kind of like wearing a wristband. We put that around, and then there's going to be a 4-foot long tether, and that tether has got some flexibility to it, and then the tag is going to float behind. The tag is designed to float just at the surface.
These belts have several weak points that are designed to break free should the tracking device become caught or entangled on something. Through ongoing research, data from the tagging program shows that adult manatees adapt well when released to the area they originated from. However, orphan manatees may need a little extra guidance for a successful reintroduction.
Our goal when we're releasing these naive animals is usually to release them at a warm water source during winter. So that way they get an idea, here's where your warm water is, here's where you need to come back. So they start learning what they need to know from the other manatees. But we're setting them up by putting them in the spot that is really the hardest for them to understand. They have to learn where that location is by going back and forth. The goal is to try and monitor them for an entire year after they're released. During that whole year period, we're monitoring them for their behavior. These animals have certain tests that we want to see that they know. We want to know that they understand where the warm water is. We want them to know that how to feed and how often to feed. Where is their fresh water? Where are the other manatees, and socializing with other manatees? And then, of course, learning where to, it might be a little safer for them to travel at. In other words, how to avoid boats.
Here in Manatee County, our Ecological and Marine Resources team is tasked with implementing and managing the county's manatee zones. These waterways are areas that manatees frequently swim through with slow speed and idle speed zones. Manatee zones are marked by signage to let boaters know to slow down to help protect manatees from boat propeller injuries. These areas also protect seagrasses, the manatee's favorite food, from being uprooted and damaged. There are many ways you can help keep manatees safe in Florida's waterways.
Things that people can do to help manatees that are living in Florida or adjacent states is to obey the speed zones. Many of the zones are put up specifically based on how manatees have used the habitat. So it's trying to slow people down where manatees are going to be so that there's less potential of a manatee being hit by a boat. Because manatees use shallow water for feeding, that means they're also going to be closer to shore a lot of times because your depth and distance to shore is very closely related. So if you're boating, definitely try and stay within the channels. Don't cut corners to go as short as route, because guess what? That's what the manatees are doing as well. The other thing that many people don't realize is it's not just boats that can cause issues with manatees. If you're seeing a manatee or around a manatee, you want to be able to just observe them. You don't want to be changing their behavior. So give them space, educate people that you know about manatee behavior, read up on it. We've got so much research we've done on manatees and their behavior. We have to learn how to have better manners in their backyard because that's where they are living.
Thank you for joining us for Explorers Academy. Be sure to check out our other videos at our Facebook page, Manatee County Parks and Natural Resources. Hope to see you next time.